Hello, fifth graders. Today we're going to do what probably for some of you is going to be a review, and for others this might be new. But what I'd like you to do after you get into Google Drive is to begin a new, let me back up for just a second. I want you to be in your fifth grade computer folder before you actually click on new. So get into that fifth grade computer folder that we made and click on new. And you have to slide down here to the bottom to click on Google Drawings. So I want you to make a Google drawing today. And the idea is that we're going to just review a little bit of what we've got for Google Drawings. I want you to, every time you start something, name it. So today I want this one to just be called lines, right? We're working with lines today. This is your menu bar. It's called a menu bar because when you click on it, it gives you choices, menus, options, all right? Below the menu bar is your toolbar. So let's talk a little bit about what we've got for a toolbar today. We have your undo and your redo, okay? This is your print icon. Remember, before you can print, you need to get permission, okay? Just reminding you. This one's a paint format. You'll notice it's grayed out, and that means that it's not available, okay? When something is grayed out like that, you just can't use it. The next thing is the zoom. So let's take a look at this. If right now it says fit, and it says 78%. If I go to 50%, my shape gets a whole lot smaller. My canvas gets a lot smaller. And at 100%, it's so big that I get the scroll bar on the left and right, or on the right-hand side, okay? So in order to see the whole top to bottom, I have to scroll, and that doesn't work as well. So what I'd like you to do, just know that it's there, and sometimes we will need it, but we don't need it today. All right, so here's my toolbar. We're getting ready to go. What I'd like you to work on today, the next part of our tools is the select. We aren't going to need that today. What we want is the lines. Class, what I'd like you to do is to explore each of these options on here and what they do and how they behave. All right. So the first one I'm going to do is line. And remember, this is just a video to kind of show you what to do. You can stop it at any time and explore. So here's my basic line. All I want to show you right now, once you have this toolbar came up. Before it was just this part of the toolbar, but now that I have an object on here, I get a lot more choices. Here's my line color. All of these options. If that's not enough, you can always do a custom color. If you click anywhere on here, and you can also, if you want, well, I want a shade of blue or purple or green, you can always slide this to kind of get it close. And once you get in there, then you can move around to get a color that you like. All right. The next part after the color is the line weight. It stays at a 1% unless you change it. If I click on something else, now my line got a lot thicker. I'm even going to click off. And when I did, it gave me another line. And that's going to happen. When you click off, it's going to give you another line. Do you see this square around it? That means it's selected. If you press the delete key on your keyboard, that's going to go away. Okay, so here's my line. I'm going to click it again, and I have it selected. I can go back. I can change the weight. I can make it thicker. Can I go thicker than 24? Do you see a place where I can type in a number? No. Sometimes we can change to whatever size we want. This is not one of those times. You have to pick one of the numbers that are here. You can change how it's displayed. So again, I'm going to click off, and this is what it would look like. Click it again, change it. What happens? Do you see the large dashes and the little dots? If I change the weight, I'm going to get a lot more, okay? Just so that you know that. The reason I wasn't seeing very many of them before is because the weight was so big, it just wasn't able to show me very many, okay? So there's your line dash. This gives me the option of how to change, and I don't know if you can see that little red dot to the left. I can change how this end looks, and I can change the right end. If I want to, I can make a match. I don't have to. If I don't want to, I can do whatever I want. Notice that now that I have not selected my line, I lost that toolbar again. To get it back, you have to click on it. Okay. A lot of times I'll have kids say, they won't let me change the color. That's because the computer doesn't know you want to change the color of this. Once you say, I want this, all those options come back up again. So for the next couple minutes until I tell you to stop, I want you to work with arrows, elbows, and curved. Okay, so stop the video here and work with just those shapes. So lines, arrows, elbows, curved connectors. Okay, curved connectors. Stop the video here and we'll pick it up in a minute. Okay, so now there are some options that I haven't talked about. So I want to show you curved. First, I'm going to delete this. And let's take a look at our curved options. I let go of the mouse and clicked. So I kind of set a point. When I was here, I clicked and set a point. Wherever I happened to be, I clicked again, but it still comes with me. I can just keep drawing until I double click. And when I double click, it's going to stop. Now, what happens if I get closer to that other one? I double click. Now I've got it. It went back to the beginning. All right. So it made a shape. If I just draw, and I don't go back to the beginning, I can click and it's going to do something like that. All right. So again, if that's not what you want, you have two choices. I can click on it and delete it, or I can simply undo it. Okay, so that's your connector or your curve. All right. The polyline is a little different. Look what the polyline does. Straight lines. But once I get back to that beginning, now I've got my shape is all closed in, and like my lines, I can go back. I can change the color. I can change the outline. I can change to make no outline. If I say transparent now, there's no outline. But if I do that, if I say transparent, now it goes away. All right, so I wanted you to know that you can set it for transparent and then you don't get a line at all. All right. And the last one that I want you to look at, so there's those two. If you do scribble, scribble doesn't make any difference. If I go back to that beginning, all I get is a really thick line. It doesn't fill it in with color. Polyline, curved, and polyline are the only two that once you close them, meet the end with the beginning. Once you close them, they will give you a solid color, and then you've got a shape. Scribble doesn't do that. All right. So there's my scribble, and that's as thick as I can make it. Okay, that's my only options. And if I click on select, remember, if I click on select, it lets me move it. If I've driven or drawn this scribble, let's say this scribble, and I want to get a hold of that red crown looking thing, I have to, sometimes it's tricky to do. You might have to move things out of the way in order to get what you need. Okay. Well, look at the size of this blue shape that I drew. If I want to make it smaller, I can do that. Simply by moving that arrow in. Okay, so what I would like to see now, as I'm walking in the classroom, I would like to see you working with curved lines, polylines, and scribbles. Fill your canvas and do as much of that demonstrating your understanding of what all of this is and how it works and what it does.